Hey everybody, it's Taki117 back with Taki's Space Program. After some dismal failures, our Kerbals are trying again. Because that's the Kerbal way. If at first you don't succeed, keep trying until you do. So, we know this rocket will make orbit. I made some changes to the parachute so that it deploys at a specific atmospheric pressure instead of an altitude, and also fully deploys higher. So hopefully that will slow us down enough and we can successfully return this rocket from orbit with all of the parts. Because I've yet to return one of these. This A7JR materials bay. I haven't returned one of those yet. And it kind of makes me a little sad. Because it's the one experiment that I need to return to have done all of the experiments in the space. This is actually a very stable rocket in the lower atmosphere. And I really can't wait until I get the Ascent guidance unlocked for MechJeb, simply because that will make launching these rockets so much easier. Because then they will effectively fly themselves to orbit, and I can just kind of sit back and talk about them. As I've mentioned before, this rocket is one of the better rockets I've designed. You know, I don't think I've had a single failure of the rocket itself with this design. There have been, multiple mission failures and payload failures and all that fun stuff. But as far as the rocket is concerned, I don't think I've had a single failure with it, which is nice. You know, you find something that works, and it works, and you're good. Ooh, I'm looking at surface instead of orbit. Not sure why that is. I'm just going to go ahead and point surface velocity positive and let the rocket do the work. And basically what that does is it points my rocket along my velocity vector so that as, there's the moon there, so that as atmospheric pressure decreases, the rocket will naturally want to tip over. Okay, 100 kilometers seems good. A little bit of a roll there, but I've also stopped burning my engines. Alright, so we're now in the upper atmosphere. Ditch that first stage. Ooh, I forgot to cut my engine first. Yeah, 105 kilometers isn't bad. I do not have power generation, at least I don't think I have power generation aboard this vessel. I do like this little spark engine. This is a 0.625 meter engine that has a 1.25 meter built-in adapter. So it has an extra node, and I can snap that on, and it has an extra little bit here. But for a rocket this size, that's all I need. We're in space. I'm going to run all of my experiments. There's the one I need. My first stage back there. It's going to follow a ballistic arc. Oh, that's Jupiter. visible through the atmosphere. That's actually kind of interesting, I think. Here we can see my orbit expanding outwards as I accelerate, pushing my periapsis further out. And this time, I think I'm actually going to try to plan my landing a little better. And see if I can't land it maybe in Africa. But I'm going to try and land it not in the ocean, because that seems to cause more problems than it solves. Oop, there we go. Camera shift indicating that we are in orbit. Final few puffs of the engine. Okay, so we are going to point retrograde. This is going to cause our rocket to flip around. And we are doing this Discoverer 13 contract. Discoverer 13, as I mentioned in a previous episode, was the first man-made object returned from space. Now, of course, this being Kerbal Space Program, we've already done that mission several times already. We just haven't done it safely. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set a maneuver node. See if orbit prediction will take over. There we go. Orbit prediction is taken over, and I get, or I should get, a nice red X where my landing is going to happen. There we go, that works. Alright, let's execute that node. Sit back, relax, and hope for the best. Like I said, I want to give myself the best chance of recovery. Oh, that was scary. So I'm trying to put it in the middle of this peninsula here. There we go. Making a few orbital adjustments. Performing that retro burn. Over, looks like the West Coast. Okay. So this says I'm going to come down right over Africa. See how accurate that is. I'm going to point surface velocity negative, because that will keep my heat shield in line with my direction of travel. Flying over Cuba. Dump our service module up that way. And that severely changes. Oh dear. Oh crap. Changes where I'm coming down. Wonderful. So hopefully this new parachute parameters. I didn't even think about that. I should have done radially. But anyway, hopefully the new parachute parameters will save the spacecraft. Again, pre-deploy at 0.25 atmospheres, fully deploy at 1,000 meters, or 1 kilometer in altitude. Heat shield's starting to heat up. Heat shield is actually doing its job. It's designed to protect the spacecraft from that compression wave. There we go, you can see my service module there. Getting a slight overheat warning, but we are still good. We are falling in real time. This is a 1x time warp. Really bleeding. You can see that shockwave there. It's a little pixelated just because of the way Kerbal Space Program models it. But that's what the actual shockwave looks like when you're returning from orbit. It follows the contour of your spacecraft. We are slowing down. I'm wondering if we're slowing down fast enough. We're starting to burn. We're getting very hot. Looks like my battery is starting to burn. Ooh. There goes the heat shield, the battery. Oh, and my... Wonderful. We are still falling. Fortunately, the interior parts are protected, and my parachute is still there. So that's good. At a slight... We are slowing down considerably. See, if it had just survived another few seconds, it would have been fine. So I'm going to have to, well, I don't really need the science. I have 155 science already. The next node is only 160. So by the time my next craft is complete, I will have enough to unlock the next tech node. Probably should have armed my parachute. Okay, 10 kilometers, we're subsonic. Coming down in the ocean. Okay, so 0.25, atmospheric pressure of 0.25 is approximately 8 kilometers. That's good. So now I'm going to time warp a little bit until we get down to about 1 kilometer, or 1,000 meters. Okay, so it takes it 500 meters to open, but we're now moving at a sedate 6.2 meters per second. This little orbital canister here. And hopefully that will complete this mission. Because we do have our control surface, or our control module left. And our science can. Not that it matters a whole lot. Although... well, of course I no longer have a connection. Anyway, there it is. That completes this mission. We're going to go ahead and recover it and see what gets launched next. And here we are back on the launch pad. This rocket we've seen before. So I'm sure you can guess where it's going. So I'm thoroughly convinced it's this KW rocketry fuel tank that is the cause of all of my guidance computer issues. I think I'm going to have to phase it out of my rocket designs. But for now, it will do the job. It'll give me 2.5 minutes of burn time. Now is really not the time to be setting the moon as my target. But it works. Okay, here we go. Once again, flying my rocket manual. Flying my rocket manually. This is another fairly stable rocket. I have had a few failures. Most of those are pilot error. And I've noticed something going back and, doing a sort of flight analysis, that all of my rockets are fairly good rockets. I'm just a bad pilot. Anyway, this engine and this fuel tank should get us most of the way to orbit. Okay, so we're just going to let this accelerate. Sit here for a little bit. See that shockwave? As we get up, pushing higher and faster through the atmosphere. We are doing pretty good, actually. Let's go ahead and pitch down a little bit more. Not that I need to, but that will save me some time. When I get to orbit, I'm starting to heat up. So 677. Okay. Take this up to about 100 kilometers. Okay. So here we go. Ta-da! Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Okay, we're going to activate our antenna, which will give us all the range we need. And we want to circularize. See, and as soon as this tank falls away, my flight computer kicks in. I do not understand it. There we go. It amuses me, it says attach payload here on the fairing base that I was using. Okay, here we go. Heading to the moon. Dun dun dun! Okay, so we're going to point radial out to catch some sun rays. For now, anyway. And there's the sun. Set the moon as my target again. And find out that I am way out of line. But I should be able to drop a node here and still come up with an intercept. Whoa, that worked out way better than I could have ever hoped. That works. We're going to execute that node. Okay, still maintaining full electric charge. Oop, starting to drop now. But I am on the dark side of the planet. Hopefully I have enough power to get there. I should execute that burn. Once I get RTGs, this will be so much easier. Also, I sort of lied. My next node is at 300 science, not 160. I'm still most of the way there. Alright, we're performing that maneuver. I will have to change stages in the middle of it. But that's okay. That is perfectly okay. Because all the explosion. I really like the plume on this engine. It's an older engine that has sort of made its way through the versions. It's one of my favorite mods, actually. And we encounter 281 meters. And I can point prograde through most of it and still catch the sun. Oh, what a beautiful day. Prograde generating 1.59 electric power. And this craft is designed to land on the moon. I actually want to do a landing gear test. Oh good, I have plenty of clearance. Now of course, this bottom stage, this tank here is designed specifically to just get me there. It's not designed to land with me. Now it all comes down to timing. I know I have a satellite in orbit of the moon. 1 minute. I'll get an alarm here. It says, hey, you have a minute. $10 seconds. Okay, so I have a satellite in orbit of the moon that will give me a connection back to Earth. That's not the problem. The problem is timing it so that that satellite maintains my connection during my landing. So I'm going to circularize at the next periapsis, create that node, and hopefully I have a connection when I get there. If I don't, we're gonna have problems. Fortunately, it looks like I'm going to. This is good. Now that satellite is moving clockwise, which means I'm moving counterclockwise. The irony. So that means I'm going to have to start my maneuver right about here when it comes around. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to point surface velocity negative. And hope for the best. Now this is not normally how I would land on this celestial body. However, time is of the essence. Okay. Suicide burn countdown is at 1 minute. Impact is 1 minute 15 seconds. I can maintain connection for 1 minute, I can successfully land this spacecraft. So here we go. Houston is holding their breath. "35 seconds till suicide burn. 40 seconds to impact, still have good connection." So again, I'm falling in real time. You're watching this as it's happening. Just hoping I don't land like on the edge of a crater or something. Three, two. Come on. Oh, turns out I was actually still burning my engine. I was like, why is it doing that? Alright. Still have good connection. And we've done it! We have successfully landed on the moon. Haha! And I did not break anything. We were stuck on a slope. But you know what? That's okay. Turn that off. We're not gonna turn that off. Going to hurry up, send all of our science home. We've done it. Okay, let's let this transmit. Moon's far side basin. Oh, talk about nerve-wracking. Oh, talk about nerve-wracking. Alright, I'm gonna now turn my SAS off and see what happens. It is balancing on its 2 front legs. That's kind of awesome. Nope. Okay, I still have some connection. This thing is surprisingly resilient. I'm impressed. So basically what I'm doing is I'm hopping around a little bit. See if I can't get into a flatter area. That landing was a little rough. But you know what? I'm on the moon. And there go my solar panels, or at least 2 of them. But you know what? Mission accomplished. I'm going to leave it there. I'm still generating plenty of power. So I'm going to call it good. That's it for this episode. I'm Taki117, and remember, it's only rocket science.